are live. Hello and welcome to Developer Insights. I'm David.
And I'm Justin.
Together we are leads on game development and design here at Codename.
Well, not only that, we also founded Codename too.
So we're going to be your host for this episode. And what's my line? Is it every episode or just some of the episodes?
For every episode. Because,
that one.
Because when we're not here, the show doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's right. That's how it goes. Got it.
Anyway, welcome everyone to our 113th episode.
It's an unlucky number, right?
In this episode, we're going to be handing out major spoilers for features and content coming to the game in the next couple of months.
No. We did that last week. That was last week's episode.
What? No, but last week you said that was going to be this week's episode.
No. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is.
Oh my God, you had me scared there for a minute.
Sorry, carry on. Go on.
Anyway, today we are here to answer development and design questions about Idle Champions. And we assume most of them will be about our upcoming systems that we announced in today's State of the Game blog.
Wait, did we release a blog post?
We did release a blog post. I'm pretty sure, judging by the questions, I believe we did release a blog post, yeah.
But anyway, if you don't ask any questions, you may have to suffer through Justin's one-man reenactment of, wait, no, we've got questions.
Yeah.
You're off the hook this week.
Dang, I really thought this was going to be the one.
You did? You thought the stream that you've been hyping up for since the start of the year was going to be the one? You didn't get any questions?
Yeah, I thought the blog would answer everyone's questions.
Yep. Looks like you were wrong. All right. Anyway, as always, we have pulled forward some questions from the previous.
Nope,
we didn't do that.
No.
We're not going to make them suffer through some of last week's questions before we get to these ones.
We thought ahead.
Okay, but we will do some updates from the dev team. You will have to suffer through that before we get into new questions, and that is actually specifically because Peter gave me a list of things that they'd gotten in this week, because I think he knew there was going to be questions, and so at any rate. We do have some items here, the fixes and new features list. There's a sort been added to the champion select dialog for filtering in the shop. Now, it says here that the control LLL, the kill log, does not show damage in HP like we said it should, for real this time. So I'm a little confused by that message because I think he means that it does show that now.
I think it's fixed the fact that
it's
it does
fixed
not
for
show
real. Maybe that's
damage.
okay. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, and all of this was in the newest build, 560, I want to say. So if you don't have the latest build, you don't have this stuff yet. There's an update in Presto's description to note that the pieces only drop in boss loot bags. There's an assurance that Jangsao's background farming is working properly. There's fix offline for Daub. And there's a note here that says at 720p, the fourth party Modron core button was not interactable. But it is now. Perfect. I see the questions are coming in. I'm just going to skip over the in-progress list.
Yeah.
There's an announcement here. It says something about a blog.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what we're talking about with this blog,
go read the blog and come back.
Hopefully we can get a link in chat. We'll wait. If you haven't read that yet, just pause the video. We'll give you a couple of seconds. And then we'll take some questions about it. Nice big blog, talks about. I guess I could just briefly touch on the two things we announced in that, or the three things we announced in that. First, we are not going to be doing a season 8 right away. We're pausing seasons to make way for some other content that we've been working on over the past little while. Secondly. We are releasing the update for collections is coming, I believe, at the end of the month. So we've got some details in there about the new collections dialogue and something we call guide quests, which are part of that update, which are going to be really cool. And then third, what most of these questions are about is basically an update to the event system. Very exciting update that hopefully now that we can talk about it, I can answer a bunch of the questions that I've been putting off for the past month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of questions coming in here.
There are many. Yes, there are many questions.
And there's a note that this is Mars's note, I assume, that we're going to be getting some questions that are about things that we can't necessarily talk about, stuff that people have been viewing in the data. And he's saying he's going to put them in Comic Sans, which I am not a fan of.
I haven't seen any questions. Oh, no, there's one in
Comic Sans. Okay.
Yeah. If we get down to question 31. It's in Comic Sans.
Comic Sans feels like one of those no fonts. Anyway, first question, first one out the gate is from Nixus. And they say, good day. The new event system. Good day.
Good day.
The new event system looks very cool. There will be 2 pre-selected champions and 3 champions we can choose. But can we choose any champion from any event? Because now there are only 12 events instead of 17. I have not found an answer to this in the blog post.
Yes, good question. And to be fair, the blog post, well, initially I was asked by Dylan to keep it to like two or three paragraphs with 2 or 3 sentences each. And I wrote the smallest possible blog post I could, and it still came out to, I think, 1.5 pages in Google Docs. So yes, there was a bunch of stuff that we did not specify in there that will sort of, well, I'll answer some of those questions now, and a lot of it will come out in the assumedly much bigger blog post that will accompany, or that will come out just before the first event comes out.
Wait, that blog post is going to be bigger?
It's going to be bigger. It's gotta, because there's a bunch of stuff we didn't really mention in there. So to answer your question here, so there are going to be 12 events instead of 17. The 5 events that are kind of disappearing, those champions will be redistributed to the other 12 events. So there'll be some poor orphaned champions that will no longer have their feature events, but they will be moved to other events. So the flex champions that you get to choose from will be ones that are assigned to that specific event. I think for the first couple of events there'll be like 8 or 9 champions that you can choose from, maybe 10 in those flex slots.
Right. And now when you do those champions, you will still get to do those champions event content, even though it's been orphaned into the...
So even if there's an event that, like an event adventure that doesn't exist anymore as like a core event adventure, when you do that champions content, it'll still be that adventure. So, yeah.
Okay, next question.
Someone's saying, does Justin have some Italian roots? Is it the hand motion? My wife always says when I'm talking excitedly that I move my hands a lot, so maybe there is a little bit of Italian in there. I do like spaghetti. Oh, and there I just insulted every single Italian in the chat. I'm so sorry, Italy.
All right. Let's not hear about your mom's spaghetti. Next question. This one is from Foolish Genius 89, asking, how retroactive will the quests in the collections menu be? What does the game remember or not remember of what we have done? Oh, it remembers.
I think for the most part, I think we've managed to get almost everything to be retroactive in the quest. I think we tried not to design any of the guide quests to be non-retroactive. So in theory, it should be 100% retroactive. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that is not.
Almost all of the game completion stuff is stuff that just we have to keep track of to show that you still have that stuff complete.
Yeah, because most of the collection quests or the guide quests are basically based off of your progress in the collections dialogue. Everything we show there is based off of stats that we've been collecting for as long as possible since you started playing.
Yes.
So yeah, it should be as close to 100% as we can possibly get it. I don't want to say exactly 100% because then there's going to be like one quest thing where it's like tracking something new, and I'm not going to. I'm not gonna hear the end of it.
Perfect. Okay, next question. This one is from Garwar. Asking, in Events 2.0, will we still gain 1 event token every 25 seconds, but over 21 days instead of 12? Basically, any change to how event tokens are earned or used with this? Oh, there's that.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So to answer the first question, the event tokens will still drop an average of every 25 seconds, just like they do now in events, and it'll be over 21 days instead of 12. So you'll get more event tokens over the course of the event. But there is a big change to how event tokens are used, and this didn't make the blog.
It didn't?
It didn't
it's
make
like
the
one
blog.
of the biggest changes.
Yeah, so event tokens won't be used anymore to start adventures or variants or free plays. we found kind of with Events 1.0 that it really...
So we just collect them. You don't use them for anything.
Well, you do use them for something, and I'll get to that. But we found that in Events 1.0, event tokens were kind of this limiting factor to stop you from getting into the event very quickly. Like the event would start, and then you'd have to be like, oh, I don't have any tokens. I can't start actually playing the event. And so we wanted to remove that limiting factor. So event tokens now are basically just used to purchase more chests from the store. And we've repriced those chests such that they are basically a very similar cost to if you just spent those tokens doing free plays in order to spend them all.
Do you have a price for that, or you're not sharing that quite yet?
It is, I do have a price for it, but I'm not sharing it quite yet. But we are balancing it such that if you are using event tokens to do free plays in events in the current event system, that all you have to do is go into the shop and buy those chests directly in the new system. And you'll get both silver and gold chests from those ones. So yeah, we're just trying to simplify that. But you will still be able to get event tokens, same rates as you get them now, same rates from bounty contracts, that kind of thing. And you'll be able to spend those to get chests without having to just grind to Area 50 and free play over and over and over again. So hopefully that'll save people some time.
Okay, what about the other change to event tokens?
The other quality of life change that we haven't really talked about? Sure, yeah, we can talk about that
Let's
now.
have it.
So one of the other quality of life changes that we're doing for event tokens, and one of the kind of complaints that people have right now is that when you use bounty contracts outside of events, you don't get any event tokens for them. And so there's this kind of taboo about using event or bounty contracts outside of events, which obviously impacts some of our champions. And so starting with Events 2.0, any bounty contracts that you use outside of events will basically drop event tokens, generic event tokens, that when the next event starts, they will get converted into the currency for that event. And then at the end of events, any currency you have left over will be automatically used to purchase chests for champions that you've unlocked in that event, and then up to a certain amount will carry forward if you don't spend it. So your event currency should kind of persist into events, and a certain portion of it will be able to persist between events. So
I mean, that's a significant change. Were you going to keep that under your hat? Was that
I gotta hold some stuff back for like the blog at the end of the month. So
okay, well, I mean, you can still put it in that blog.
It will be, yeah.
All right, next question. This one is from Phoenixian Ultimatum.
This is basically what I answered in the previous question.
Regarding
you can ask it, and I can just reiterate.
Regarding the changes coming in Events 2.0, will we still have free plays for gold, silver chests outside of the scaling variants? If tokens are a bar for entry into the variants or free plays, will they scale to the tier you are on, or will it be a flat amount regardless of the tier? For as much as covered in the State of the Game post, I feel there is much left uncovered. Well, they abbreviate everything.
So the variants won't cost any tokens. The free plays won't cost any tokens. The free plays, on the flip side there, the free plays also won't drop chests for getting to Area 50 anymore. Free plays in events will now function much like free plays in the regular gameplay, where they're just there if you want to farm up some additional favor without the restrictions that exist in the variants. So we don't expect people will do too many event free plays anymore, and that's fine because because we're fine with that. So yeah, the tokens will just be used. The event tokens will just be used to purchase chests in the shop.
Okay. Next question. This is from Numantis. The blog says that Event 2.0 will have up to 3 additional player-picked champions per event. What does that actually mean? Do we get 3 or not? It says 3 and get 3. Anyway, and as a follow-up, if we don't get 2 featured plus 3 flex every event, players actually end up being able to recruit fewer champions per year in events, and there will be fewer free time gates too. Not more, as the blog claims.
Well, luckily the blog is correct here. It is more. Everyone will have an opportunity to unlock 3 additional player-picked. Peter Piper picked the player-picked champions.
Wait, did the players pick them, or does Peter pick them?
Peter picks the champions, and then the players pick from the champions that
Peter picked.
That Peter picked, yeah, and pickled. So yes, there will be. Everyone will base as long as you play. The entire event. You'll get 5 champions or opportunity to recruit and gear up 5 champions in the event. And actually, I mean, one thing I will mention here is that in order to since the events are running for 3 weeks, and since we don't want to front load everything, the first flex slot unlocks right away. So when the event goes out, everyone has an opportunity to pick 1 champion for that. The second flex slot will unlock 1 week into the event, and the third flex slot will unlock 2 weeks into the event. And we wanted to do that to kind of keep the event fresh for a little bit longer, so you've got something new to do at the beginning of week 2 and the beginning of week 3. And also, we think it'll be interesting to kind of have the community discuss what champions would be good to unlock, and have kind of a build-up time to that second flex slot unlocking, and have like you should really get Artemis in this, or like depending on what champions you should get Briv or Strix or whoever. And so we think that'll be a really interesting sort of conversation point for people to discuss online. And yeah.
Let's say in the chat there, Mantis is asking, what makes it up to then? But I guess that actually you're saying it's just 5.
It's 5. The up to is if you decide not to unlock a champion,
then it is optional.
4.
You could leave the slot open.
Yeah. If you decide not to pick any flex champions, then you get 2 from the event. So it's up to basically a player choice.
It's an odd choice to make. You could leave the slot open though.
Maybe you've got all the other flex champions in the event already up to like golden or like full epic, and you don't really care, and so you just pick the ones you don't have fully epicked and focus on those. Because then you can focus more of your tokens onto those event chests and whatnot.
You could, yeah. You could still unlock them and not use them. Whatever. It's
yeah, but then when the event ends, if you have leftover tokens, it might get the chest purchaser might buy them for a champion that you didn't really care about.
There's something people are going to ask about.
Maybe.
Yeah. You're like, I want them all focused on this champion. How do I select that?
Yeah, can't.
Not yet, anyway.
Well, oh, yeah. You can, actually. You just go into the store and you spend the tokens before the event ends.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of letting us spend the tokens at the end of the event.
Good point. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. This is from Niscus. And they say, good day. Again. All right.
Oh, good day.
Good day. Another question about Events 2.0. Will we be able to replay the variants once we complete all 3? There will be a limited number of tiers per event, or will it be an ever-increasing number of tiers inside the same event? By the cap table in the blog post, it looks like there is a limit of 4 tiers per event, and that you continue from that tier in future events. If you select the same champion, or you continue from that tier in future events if you select the same champion. So your progress is saved. Is there a point where we can't get any more event tiers for a champion?
Yes. So there are just four tiers per champion, with the final tier having a fairly high variant requirement. So yeah, and those will save between events, much like variants for event champions save between events right now. So it's a total of 12 gold chests per champion if you complete all of the tiers. And then at that point, I guess to answer your initial question, there is no way to replay the variants once you complete them.
Okay. I see in the chat, it's like we've reached 50 questions for the day.
We already answered number 7 there.
That's right. Don't stop asking questions. Okay, next question. This is from AgiJess09. Why was Tyrell required for every single patron challenge this week? It makes tedious with the overlap.
Yeah, that would be some bad luck there. There's nothing in the system to prevent a champion from getting chosen for multiple patrons. It's just some bad luck.
Okay. Next question. This is from Randram. The blog post wasn't entirely clear, so just to clarify, in non-event weeks, will content drops and free time gates remain linked on a Wednesday plus Friday schedule?
Yeah, that is the plan. So yeah, for the weeks between events, the week that the event ends, and then any weeks between that and the beginning of the next event, there will be content drops and free time gate weekends.
Actually, that reminds me, Justin, there was a part of the question earlier about there being fewer free time gates too.
Yes.
Not more, as the blog claimed. No, you said the blog is correct, but you didn't sort of
Yeah, there's some other questions coming up here that mention the time gates I thought we could get to. Number 13 here has some time gate stuff in it.
Okay, good. I just thought that might have been an oversight.
Yeah, no, it's...
you were just like, the blog is right. I'm not answering why.
Yeah, I mean, the blog is mostly right.
It's moving, it's backtracking. Next question is from Monatastic Coffee. Monastic Coffee? Yes, Monastic Coffee. I'm not sure what type of coffee that is, but I like coffee. With seasons being paused, will Strongheart be reworked either to work with Events 2.0 or otherwise? He has an ability, specialization, and a feat that are useless without an active season.
Yeah, I think we'll probably look at adjusting Strongheart to do something else in that ability slot, and we'll probably be updating the specialization and feat as well at that point. There's also a couple of blessings in Xerixis and Witchlight, I believe, that will also need to be updated for the lack of seasons. Otherwise, they just won't do anything without seasons around.
Numbers can be tasty too. If you mix pi and e, you get pi.
Pi e? Yeah, that's right.
Don't do pi and e together. Next question. This is from Emote. How will you be handling dismantles, both full and legendary, and pigment, ? Now that you're pausing seasons?
So the plan right now, and this could change, but the plan right now is for there to be dismantles available on reworked champions for some portion of their event. And then for legendary dismantles, I think we're going to try and move those to kind of the quarterly celebrations. So they'll just be linked to that 1 week quarterly celebration that we do quarterly.
How frequently?
Quarterly.
Okay.
Once every quarter.
And to be clear, we don't get a dismantle on a new champion.
No, we will not be handing out dismantles for brand new champions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next question. This one is from Numantis. Can we get a stat in the new collection dialog to count how many times the client presents graphic ID 1 on the screen?
I thought that was a funny question. Thank you for the funny question.
Beaster.
I can tell you right now the collections dialog would implement or increment that itself quite a bit, or at least the versions that I've
currently
seen
doing that?
lately. Oh my God.
It did before.
There's so many Bs in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a funny thing to track. I think that would be one of those things that if we were going to track it, it would be something new to track. I don't think we currently track that.
It would be. And then we'd show it with graphic ID 1, so every time you reloaded that particular page, it would increment the stat.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That sounds awful. Next question. This is from Garwar. It looks like now we'll only be getting one natural time gate a month instead of one every 3 weeks. But does this mean we only get one content drop a month, since those usually happen on Wednesdays between events?
Yes, so the number of natural time gates will drop by, I think, 1 or 2 per year due to this. So the way it works out is, the way that does not change. The way it works out is 8 of the events will have 1 week between them and the next event, and 4 of the events will have 2 weeks between them and the next event. And so for the ones that have 2 weeks between, we'll be doing 2 content drops and 2 free time gate weekends. So they'll end up being 16 per year, 16 content drops and 16 time gate weekends, which is down slightly from 18 under Events 1.0, but not down significantly. Not down to like 12 or anything like that.
So the question above was correct. It is fewer.
It is slightly fewer, but the blog is correct.
Okay. Next question. This is from Numantis. Are some events being culled so that there are only 12 and the champs in the events that are being dropped are getting reassigned to new events? Or are we going to have to wait 18 months for a champ to reappear in an event? Or are the events essentially going to be brand new and have a new bag of champions associated with them?
Yeah, so we mentioned this earlier, but just in case someone's joining late. Yeah, so 5 of the events are getting, what is a nice way to say it?
Retired.
Taken to a farm up north.
Not getting
up
sent
island.
upstate.
So 12 of the events or 12 of the events will survive. 5 of the events will not survive, and the champions from those events will get redistributed to the 12. We are trying to keep them pretty close for the most part to the original events, and I will say there is one confusing thing. Is the event that we're launching in March this year, Festival of Fools. We want to actually have that be the April event moving forward. So the April event this year will be different from the one that we have next year. And so there'll be a slightly different set of champions available in that than moving forward. So a little bit of oddness there. But as soon as we get through, I think the August event, the July or August event this year, we'll be to the fixed sets of champions that we'll start seeing moving forward.
Right. And sort of interest, it may be that we did in fact consider looking at doing like keeping all of the events and then having to wait 18 months.
Rotating each year to see which ones are live, yeah.
But opted more to not make you have to wait 18 months to get through a full cycle of champions. But that does mean that the number of champions that are available in each one will grow at a faster rate.
It will, yes. Yeah. So there'll be, as I mentioned before, I think there's 9 or 10 champions in sort of the first round of events, and that'll go up to 11 as we add another full set of champions over the year, and then 12, 13, 14, and in 100 years, there'll just be way too many champions per event.
But if you can do 5 per event, and we're only adding 1 every year, you should be able to catch up in 2 years. You should be able
to catch up, well, right now in 2 years, yes. In 100 years from now, it'll take you 20 years to catch up.
Right.
But at that point, there'll be
But if you start right
20
now,
more champions, so 24 years?
If you're a brand new player right now, it'll take you 2 years to catch up fully.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. Which is a lot. I mean, that's one of the things that I was kind of avoiding talking about for the first month or so of the year, was people asking questions about gearing up champions and time gates and our plans for time gates and stuff. And I really didn't want to talk about that because Events 2.0 is sort of a big way that we're hoping to be able to address getting gear for older champions, because now you'll have a shot every year, every group that we go through, you'll have a shot at gearing up every single champion, and you'll be able to gear up a portion of those champions on each cycle of events, which I think will be really good for people who are trying to catch up and get all their champions fully epicked.
Okay. Cool. Next question. This one is a little tongue-in-cheek. This one is from Numantis. Who is going to be working on the 1st of January, 2025? Yes, it's the first Wednesday of the month, to deal with the inevitable event issues.
Yeah,
now,
so...
Are they inevitable? Are the issues inevitable?
No, by January we'll have it figured out.
Oh, no.
So this is one of the upsides that we were all thinking in our heads of like, hey, one of the things we try to avoid every year is having an event come out while the office is closed over Christmas. And so we were like, this is great. If events start at the beginning of the month, there's no way we'll have an event starting over Christmas. And then, of course, the very first January, we're looking at the calendar and it's like, oh, January 1st is a Wednesday. Great. So I imagine there'll be a small skeleton crew to make sure that everything goes out smoothly.
Right,
but,
on the 1st, preferably not hungover.
Preferably not hungover. And if they are, I apologize in advance. Hello, everyone, on January 2nd. Sorry about that. Everyone was still drunk from New Year's.
Okay, next question. This one is from Randram. In the guide quest section of today's blog post, it references rewards as, but you'll also find various gold chests. The various bit is what I'd like to focus on. Is there a risk of people concerned with keeping Briv from being ruined by being forced to own named gold Briv chests by using Claim All if quests related to champion-specific completion would reward champion golds for them? Can you clarify exactly what they're asking?
Yeah, so the guide quests have various rewards. Some of those rewards are chests. I believe at this point there are some gold chests for the for evergreen champions. So for the ones you can unlock from campaigns, I think you get a couple of chests when you complete them. I might be wrong about that. The only other ones I can think of would be patron chests, and yes, potentially if you open those, those could have gear for Briv. But you're not going to be forced to open any of those chests. So
you're forced to just hang on to them.
They'll just sit there in your inventory until you open a ticket, and then Taylor removes them for you.
I don't want to stare at these anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it looks like it's time to run a giveaway. Has it been half an hour already?
I mean, I thought with today's special episode, the special part was we weren't going to do a giveaway.
Oh, okay. No giveaway today. No, just kidding. So yes, we're going to take a couple of minutes from answering questions and run our world famous gold chest giveaway. The way this works, in case this is your first stream with us, there will be a keyword that will soon pop up in chat. All you have to do is copy and paste that keyword back in, and you will be entered into a draw to win 42 gold chests of your choice. It can be any type of gold chest that exists in the game. Obviously can't be Season 8 gold chests, at least not yet. Yeah, it needs to be a type of chest that currently exists and is obtainable by players. And we'll just add 42 of those chests to your account if you win. So that is going on right now. The keyword is apparently updates. So good luck to everyone. Do you have some questions about types of chests you can get?
I may have chosen poorly. I can't pronounce this type. I look for a Stratus. Do we have a Stratus chest?
A Stratus chest? No, I don't think so.
How about a Stratus Cumulus chest?
No.
How about a Nimbostratus quest?
Types of Harry Potter spells.
Not quite. How about an Alto Cumulus chest?
Oh, sorry. Harry Potter brooms. These are definitely Harry Potter brooms.
Alto Stratus chest.
Alto Stratus chest. No. Oh, clouds. Types of clouds. They got it in chat.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Good job. Good job. All right.
Where was I? Right. Oops. I don't want to close that tab. Let's just reopen that tab. That's an important tab.
What,
the questions.
The questions tab. Don't close the questions tab.
That's
you have
it.
to
We're done.
ask all these questions.
Next question, also from Numantis. The blog says the next time you pick that same champion in a future event, you'll be able to start from where you left off the last time and push for those higher tier rewards. Does that mean you'll only be able to get the 12 gold chests once?
Yeah, I think we touched on this earlier on, but yeah, the total rewards from the event variants are 12 gold chests. That is up from 3 gold chests under events 1.0. And of course, if you've got event tokens to spare, you can purchase as many event chests as you want from the store.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is also the idea that you're able to actually complete a champion, so that when you come back the next year, you don't have 10 to complete.
Yes.
If you've completed one previous year, you've gotten all the achievements, all the gear, all the chests, all the tiers. That champion is complete.
You did it.
Yeah.
You can unlock them still to unlock their buffs again if you want. But other than that, there won't be any new variants for them. Unless, of course, we add like a 5th tier somewhere down the road with area requirements of like 3,000 or something.
Right. Then all of your champions at that point will be incomplete.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll have to do them all again. You're a monster, Justin. You won't do that to people, will you?
I probably will.
Oh. Okay. Sure. Okay. You heard it here first.
Well, 2 years from now, everyone who start playing now will have all the champions fully and finish all the events. And so they'll need something new to do.
Right. But they'll have all of their completed challenge, their guide quest to complete the champion will then be incomplete.
Well, no. There aren't any guide quests to complete.
Well, collections chests then. No. And if there aren't, then we should add them.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a different thing.
All right.
Spoilers.
Next question is from Phoenixium Ultimatum. How long is Seasons on pause? Any projection on when they might return?
Yeah, we don't really know right now when they're going to come back. We haven't started any work on Season 8. We're still very focused on some of these other systems that we want to update and sort of seeing how they impact the game. I think Events 2.0 are actually going to be quite a bit of content for people to go through. And it's possible down the road that Seasons might come back in some way to accompany that. But we're going to kind of feel it out as we go.
Yep, we're going to play it by ear.
Yeah.
Okay, Next question. Is from
I feel like we did already answer that one.
Okay,
Sorry.
next.
We're getting caught up to where I've actually highlighted them.
Yes. Next question is from Dice42, and they would like to know: is there a replacement source for extra support pigments in the new event system?
So in the new event system, there will be some pigment rewards. So the new and reworked champions in each event will have rewards for completing their Tier 3 and Tier 4 variants. So there will be some opportunities there to have pigments as some of those rewards, but we're still trying to sort of figure that out. And then, yeah, figuring out where some other places we can give out pigments is something that's top of mind, and figuring out exactly where that makes sense to replace that, content from the season rewards track.
Okay, let's see.
How
about this one?
We're looking forward here. Sure.
Okay, the next question here, also from Dice42. You mentioned that there will be up to 2 new or updated champions per event. Does that mean that we will be getting 1 fewer new champs an event, or only 12 updated champs?
So the idea of Events 2.0 is that there'll be 24 sort of highlighted champions per year, and that will be a combination of new champions and reworked champions. We're sort of, for the first several events, I think we're going to be doing 1 new and 1 reworked champion. I think at some point we'll try an event with 2 new champions to see how that feels. At some point we'll try an event with 2 reworked champions and no new champions to see how that feels, and just sort of find the cadence of those kinds of things that work. But what we're kind of aiming for is 12 brand new champions a year and 12 reworked champions a year as part of Events 2.0. And hopefully it'll be pretty close to that.
All right. Okay, Justin, why don't you highlight some questions and I'll answer these next 2.
Okay.
So the next question here is from Cassius335, who, again, this is a tongue-in-cheek question for me. It says, do fruit zombies count as Raisin the Dead? I just reply the same way you reply to mine. Sigh. I guess so. Next question after that is from Peter DePan, who asks, how many people are working in your dev team? How many people do we have that are strictly devs? Well, we've got Justin. You count as a dev. Designer.
Do I?
I think you did a lot of the back end for the new stuff.
I have been writing a bunch of back end.
We've got Peter and Wilson and Steph and myself, and we've got Alex, and we've got Mark, and we've got Jarrett, and hopefully they don't mind I'm saying their names on stream, but I think we're looking at between 7 or 8, depending on how you count us.
Whether you count me.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, next question here is from Leonie Reeve, or Rev. And they would like to know, what is the too long didn't read of the blog? I am more of a listener, unlike what my wife would say, I think is what that meant to say.
I hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
So yeah, the TLDR of the blog, I mentioned this at the top of the show, but I'm happy to do it again for anyone who has joined in late. But there's basically 3 things that we mentioned in the blog. The first is that we are pausing seasons for the time being. No Season 8 coming out right after Season 7, like some might expect. The second bit is that the collections dialogue update is nearly done and is scheduled to come out, I believe, near the end of the month. And that will include a whole bunch of updates to the collection dialogue. There's something like, 15 or 20 dialogues that have kind of been updated and have everything you could expect a collection to have, basically an overview of your progress through the game. Those will come along with guide quests and collection quests too, but we don't talk about those in the blog post yet. And guide quests are basically kind of advanced tutorials for getting from the end of the first tutorial that you play through to unlocking all the systems and evergreen champions and all the content of the game, basically. And then the third thing was basically updates to events. We're taking the old event system that we haven't really touched in almost 7 years, I guess almost like 9 years if you count Crusaders, and basically restructuring a lot of that. And that's been a lot of what we've been talking about today. But basically extending events somewhat, so they're 3 weeks long, having more champions in there, having more champion choice, a whole bunch of quality of life updates and things like that. And that is, there's more details in the blog, and there's more details in just this Dev Insights episode. And there will be more details, most likely, in future Dev Insights episodes as people kind of process what we've talked about.
Okay. What are you doing with that one, Justin?
I mean, I can mention. We can.
You want to mention that?
Sure. Yeah. We
right.
can answer it.
Here's a question. This is our Comic Sans question. The first Comic Sans question, which you may or may not remember from the top of the episode what that means. But this question is from Randram, asking, in today's blog post, it says up to 5 champions and 3 flex slots. In the text defines, we have references to the DLC to DLC linked, or the DLC linked supporter flex slot. Will this mean that only one of the 3 is a purchase-related slot and 2 are free to play, or are all 3 tied to DLC?
So the answer to this question is all 3 are free to play. There's some stuff in the defines that is not yet completely implemented, and so I would hesitate to make assumptions based off of what you're seeing in there. But there is some other stuff that we're working on that is not mentioned in the blog. But everything we mentioned in the blog there is completely free to play. So all 5 of those slots, the 3 flex slots, are all free to play. Nothing's tied to DLC or purchases or anything like that.
Yeah, the only thing that restricts those slots is the time delay.
Yeah. The second one unlocks, or the second flex slot unlocks a week into the event, and the third flex slot unlocks 2 weeks into the event, so that you can have something new to do 2 weeks into the event.
Next question. This one is from the Wandering Bereft. It says, Justin's part of the blog implies something revelatory. Quote, interact with me and my co-founder, David Whitaker. Is David's Justin's co-founder as well as CNE? Did I co-found you?
Dad? Wait a minute, we're the same age. Yeah, that's a normal way of saying like you're like
is there a comma missing?
I feel like that's right. Fellow
I don't
co-founder?
know what the grammar on that is.
You're my co-founder.
I
don't know.
My co-founder and I? No, it's still the same.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds right to me.
Codenames, it's fine. Everyone's a critic.
Yeah, let's just agree, like Loopy 79. Let's just agree to blame English.
I see.
It's the worst language in the world, except for all the others.
Next question. This is from Angie Jess 09. How do we get the benefit of the seasonal-based blessings if the seasons aren't active?
Yes, this is something else we've already talked about. So the seasonal blessings in Witchlight and Xerxes, we will be looking to either temporarily or permanently change those based on when or if seasons come back, as well as Strongheart, which isn't mentioned in this question, but we will be looking at Strongheart's design and making sure we give him something interesting to do in the new kind of seasonless meta that we are walking into.
Poor Sean, what about his show about seasons? Is that what Seasoning with Sean is about?
I thought it was a cooking show.
Yeah, I thought he made pancakes.
I thought they really missed the pancake flipping show, and so he started like a new one where he makes like pasta and stuff. Is that not what that's about?
People would watch that, I think.
Last week we had the one-man show being the cooking show, and people seemed really interested in that, so I don't know.
Yeah, we just don't have the ventilation in here for cooking, unfortunately.
No,
doesn't make for
that would probably be
show.
Yeah.
Don't ask how we know that. Next question. This one is from OG17. Can character event tiers be progressed through time gates or only during their event duration?
That is a very good question. We do have kind of an open question of what time gates are going to look like in the Events 2.0 world. The plan right now is to just have the Tier 1 variants in there and not be able to progress event tiers through them. But that is still very much an open question. So I'll let you know when I know, I guess.
How come the text names in this are different colors?
I don't know. They're using a different seed for they're different on mine as well.
I've never noticed that before. Never mind. Okay, next question. This is from OG17. Will seasons be returning in their current state, given events will have reworked characters?
That is a very good question. And honestly, I don't know. My best guess is that if we were to, if seasons return, they will probably be different than they are now. Especially considering, we're kind of committing to this event 2.0, which has reworked champions in them, and we don't necessarily want to kind of further increase our workload, considering that with seasons we were so sort of close to the line that it kind of prevented us from working on other features as much as we would have liked to. So I think my best guess is that if seasons return, they will be updated in some way. But I couldn't tell you one way or the other. It's not a discussion that we've had internally.
Yeah, it definitely remains very much up in the air.
Yeah.
And as Justin's commented, and as was in the blog post as well, is that certainly that by pausing seasons for now, we have freed up a lot of development resources to sort of focus on new features, and we're going to see where that takes us first. Mm-hmm. So, okay, next question. This one is from Joranathus. Please update the season bonus quest for time gates called Tier X of 19. Reset after completing Area Y to have 10 days before the expiry instead of just 5 days. After 5 days and on my second time gate, I'm usually only at Tier 9, Stage 100 or 1100, and I have account power to go a lot higher. This allows us players with a stockpile of speed potions to eke out more season XP at a cost of spending more time in a time gate. The benefit is that you are giving us more choice on how we play. Yeah,
so I highlighted this one. Obviously, with seasons kind of going on pause, season bonus quests will also be going on pause. So we are unlikely to really take any action on the existing, the remaining kind of bonus quests for season 7.
Oof.
Because, yes, the best part of today's blog post. Season bonus quests are finally gone. It is true. And bonus quests are one of those things where I think, they didn't really work out the way we were hoping that they would. There were a lot of kind of issues with how we kind of put those together.
Some of those were a little clunky.
There were a bunch of them that were pretty clunky, and we were trying to do something. I think to an extent we did succeed at doing part of what we were aiming to do, but the result of that wasn't really what we wanted it to be. Well, it wasn't really fun.
It wasn't as fun.
We wanted
as
it to be fun, and it wasn't fun. And so, we wanted it to be fun, and we wanted it to get players to engage with, deep runs and getting a whole bunch of gold and getting a really high DPS. And we succeeded at those sort of 3 things, but we didn't make it fun, which was the real problem. So hopefully, moving forward, if something like that comes back, it will be more fun.
See, the bonus quests were your dog, Justin. You can take them out back.
No, we're taking the bonus quests. I think if seasons come back, bonus quests will likely either come back in a completely different form or not come back at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I can do this one here.
Okay. Next question. This one is from the Torontonian. The blog talks about unique rewards for finishing the higher tiers of contents in the events. Can you offer a couple of examples of those rewards?
Sure. Yes, I can. So in the first event with Redacted and Redacted,
you'll get Redacted as a reward.
Yes, Redacted. So the tier 3 rewards so far in the event 2.0 that we've designed, they've generally been epic feats. So an epic feat for each champion that you can't get anywhere else. You can't get it for 50,000 gems. You can't buy it in the shop. You have to progress through that champion's event and complete their tiers to do that. And then the tier 4 ones have been more on the range of like really rare chests. So some patron chests that maybe you can't get anywhere else yet, and some pigments have been in there as well, including I think we've got it designed for one of the very first healing pigment ever, assuming we can figure out what the healing pigment's supposed to do and get that implemented in time. So yes, that's what's in there. Someone's saying buy it from the shop yet? ? And the plan with those feats and stuff that is those tier rewards is that they would never show up in the shop or wild offers or anything. You would have to, because it's essentially evergreen event content. Like champions won't become retired anymore or anything like that in events. It will be able to stay in that event forever. And if you want to get that thing, then you can get them by grinding through those grinding through the areas required for those variants.
Okay, let's just highlight all the questions.
Oh, okay. Let's see. The next question here is from the Mom Unit, who asks, this is a blue question.
I know, you got two of these questions ahead of me.
Who asks, will it be possible to reset an account to try a new player feel so that one can better med guides? I don't know what med, I don't know what that typo was, but yes.
Yeah, so as it stands, we don't have any way on any particular platform to reset your account. It is something that, I know it's come up. I'm not exactly sure like if it's something that really makes sense to be able to clear off an account, except like unless you've, like, I guess what I'm trying to say, in certain distinct circumstances, you can open a ticket and ask for your account to be cleared if that's what you really, really want to do. It's not something that we typically do.
Yeah.
The best bet if you want to run multiple accounts is to, have different platforms. Like you can download the game on the CNE platform or use the Epic platform or the Steam platform or whichever platform that you're not using. You can open a new account by just opening the game on a different platform. An alternative for that is if you could have multiple Steam accounts if that's what you wanted to do. I think the easiest thing to do if you're playing on, so I guess I'm making an assumption here that you're playing on PC, is that you could just open a new CNE account.
Mm-hmm.
And that one's a good one to do for that. And then of course if you play on tablet or on console, switching over to a different platform is also a pretty straightforward way to do that. But we don't typically have a way in-game to reset your account.
Yeah.
That's something that, again, you could ask in a ticket, but it's a trickier thing because it is one of those things that if you have made purchases on that account, we don't have an easy way to transfer those over into a new account, and so it's something that we generally don't do on a per account basis. All right, next question. This is from Dice42. Can we get an updated blog if there are major changes that should have been updated in the blog that were omitted?
Yeah, so there will be a more detailed blog. Excuse me. There will be a more detailed blog posted, I think, at the end of closer to the end of the month, the week before the first event goes out, and that one will have a lot more of the details in it. The blog that we posted, as I mentioned, kind of at the top of the show, I was instructed to keep it down to
keep it brief,
two or
Justin.
3 paragraphs, 2 or 3 sentences. I stretched it out as much as I could, but there is a couple of things that didn't make that will definitely go into the updated or the Event 2.0 specific blog that will come out toward the end of the month.
Yeah.
It's not that long. It's not that long to wait.
And there should be more. I think there's another one specifically planned for the collections and guide quests.
Yes.
For just before that release as well. So
yeah, there's more stuff that we also left out of there, including like screenshots and stuff. We actually debated whether or not to put screenshots in the blog of the sort of work in progress dialogues, but decided to hold those off for the final blog of each type. so that
And maybe as we get closer, we could give them a little demo. But
we might be able to do a demo on
closer,
stream. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Okay, next question is from Truwan Heda. I hope I'm saying that right. If you are changing what tokens are for, can we still get them from bounty contracts?
Yes, tokens will still drop from bounty contracts. Currently, the plan is to still have them drop at the same rate they currently drop at, even though that might actually get you more chests, I think, per. No, it'd be similar if you were farming variants or free plays with that. So yeah, no change to tokens and bounty contracts.
Okay, so Justin, I'm just looking at the time. We're almost out of time here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can burn through this quickly.
I can probably just skip that one. We already kind of answered that one. We already kind of. These two here are kind of similar.
All right, well, let's go with that, and then I think we're going to be out of time.
Oh no.
So the first question, or the next question here, is from Zoldan Orlemu. Yep. We're going with Zoldan Orlemu.
You got there.
With the event changes, did you consider going for a standard event token in all events rather than having a different token for each event?
So the way that it's actually implemented in Events 2.0, it is technically kind of a standard token, but for flavor purposes in those events, we've kept the old token flavoring. But they are essentially all the same kind of token, especially with being able to kind of earn the generic ones before the event and have those convert into the event currency, and then get carried over after the event for ones that are not spent.
Right. Okay. And last question here from Emote: could we turn off the auto purchases at the end? I don't think so.
Maybe. I mean. Well,
because only a certain amount of token is going to carry
Yeah.
over. There's only going to be there's a limited amount to carry over, so you're going to want to spend them. Otherwise, you are going to just lose them.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we would turn those off.
Yeah.
Maybe what we need for these players who are kind of concerned about getting chests for champions they don't want is just some sort of like.
Sell them?
No, not sell them. Just like some sort of like
a grinder.
Yeah,
a disposal.
You
just
put them
chest
into,
disposal.
There's a bag of holding, and then there's like a bag of
they
like
turn into chest dust.
Everything you put them in just
it's a crafting
disappears.
Material for the new crafting system.
Oh my gosh, no.
You take it to the apothecary. You put it in but you get a chest dust potion. Okay.
Some sort of way.
Anyway, we are out of time.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah. If we didn't get to your question this week, and there were a lot of questions we didn't get to, we apologize, but we will be back again next week at this same time to answer more questions. Before we sign off, though, we'd like to thank our tireless mods. This week it was Gabe and Mars. They're the ones who copy your questions into our question stock and make things awesome in chat. So thanks to both of you.
And of course, thanks to all of you for hanging out, watching the stream, asking such great questions, and for enjoying the game. Because without you, no one here gets to do what we do.
And we like what we do.
That's right. All right, that is all we got today. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone.
Bye.
All right, Justin, I can squeak one in here.
Quickly.
So today, I learned that Albert Einstein is a real person.
Really?
And I always thought he was just a theoretical physicist.